In the heart of ancient Rome, where the air was thick with the scent of olive oil and the distant sounds of merchants hawking their wares, love blossomed in the most unexpected places. Public baths, vibrant markets, and the spirited chaos of festivals were the arenas where souls intertwined, often amidst the constraints of class and duty. Beneath the grandeur of marble columns and the echo of chariots on cobblestones, the lives of the patricians mingled with the whispers of plebeians, each heart yearning for connection, yet bound by the chains of societal expectation. It was during the raucous celebration of Lupercalia, when the air was electric with the promise of love and revelry, that Aurelia, a modest merchant's daughter, caught the eye of Marcus, a young soldier of noble descent. As the festival unfolded with wild abandon, the thrumming of drums and laughter enveloped them, cloaking their budding attraction in the anonymity of the crowd. Yet, beneath the joyous facade, the weight of their disparate worlds loomed large. A patrician's duty to marry well, a plebeian's dreams often crushed beneath the weight of lineage. Under the moonlight, Aurelia found solace in stolen glances, her heart racing with each brief encounter. Marcus, torn between the loyalty to his family and the burgeoning love that ignited within him, penned fervent letters from the battlefield, each word laced with longing and despair. Their love, a flower striving to bloom in the cracks of a rigid society, was fraught with challenges, yet it thrived in the shadows, a testament to the resilience of the human spirit amidst the grandeur and brutality of ancient Rome. The heart of ancient Rome. Introduction. The heart of ancient Rome. In the sprawling expanse of ancient Rome, where the cobblestones echoed the footsteps of legions and the scent of spiced wine mingled with the fresh aroma of baked bread, love flourished amidst the grandeur and grit of daily life. Couples, bound by fate and circumstance, sought each other in the bustling public baths, lively markets, and vibrant festivals that painted the social tapestry of the era. These sacred spaces became the heart of romance, where the laughter of young lovers intertwined with the murmurs of the old, and fleeting glances ignited a flame that defied the constraints of social class and family obligation. A dance of shadows and stars. The sun dipped low over the horizon, casting a golden hue across the Forum Romanum, where citizens gathered, their voices a symphony of commerce and camaraderie. Among them was Livia, a young woman of modest means, her linen tunic slightly frayed at the hem. Yet her spirit shone with the brilliance of 1,000 stars. She navigated the throng of merchants and citizens with deftness, her dark hair braided with wildflowers, a testament to the festival of Lupercalia that swept through the city like the breath of Jupiter himself. It was during this festival, steeped in both revelry and ancient rites, that she first laid eyes upon Marcus, a soldier returned from the distant frontiers of Germania. His stature was imposing, clad in the armor of Rome, yet there was a gentleness in his gaze that spoke of a heart yearning for peace. Their eyes met as he stood, a figure carved from marble amidst the chaos, and in that fleeting moment, the world around them faded into obscurity. "Do you believe in fate, Livia?" he asked, his voice a low murmur, yet it resonated like the clash of swords, igniting a fire within her heart. She smiled shyly, her cheeks flushed. "Fate is but a whisper in the wind, Marcus. We are but leaves upon its currents." As they spoke, the air thick with the scent of incense and the laughter of revelers, the festival pulsed around them. The Luperci, clad in goatskins, danced and ran through the streets, striking those who dared to cross their path with strips of leather, a playful omen of love and fertility. Livia found herself captivated not only by Marcus's words but by the way he looked upon her, as if she were the very embodiment of Venus, the goddess of love. Days turned into weeks, and amidst the hustle of the marketplace and the warmth of the baths, they carved moments together in secret. They would meet at the edge of the Tiber, where the water whispered secrets and the moonlight shone like silver coins. Each encounter became a stolen treasure, a precious moment of laughter and shared dreams, despite the looming shadow of their realities. Yet, as the tides of time ebbed and flowed, The inevitable challenge of societal norms crashed upon them. Livia was promised to a wealthy patrician, a union forged in the cold steel of family alliances. The thought of being wed to a man who viewed her as merely a means to bolster his social standing filled her with dread. "Will you not speak to your father?" Marcus implored one evening, his brow furrowed in concern as they sat beneath the ancient olive trees. "Fight for our love, Livia. Our hearts are not meant to be shackled by the chains of duty." "I cannot," she whispered, her voice trembling like the leaves overhead. "I am but a daughter, bound by the will of my father. To defy him would mean disgrace." Their love, though pure, became a bittersweet melody, echoing through the chambers of their hearts. Letters exchanged in the shadows became their lifeline, each word a testament to their devotion. Marcus, stationed on the turbulent borders, wrote with ink made from crushed berries, the parchment filled with promises of a future they dared to dream. But the winds of fate are unpredictable. One fateful evening, as Livia prepared for her betrothal ceremony, a messenger arrived with grim news. Marcus had been injured in battle. A cruel twist of fate that sent her heart plummeting into despair. In her anguish, she knew she had to act. Her love, once a secret garden, now demanded to be tested against the harsh realities of the world. With the dawn of hope shining through the cracks of her sorrow, Livia made a choice. A choice that would either unite their destinies or shatter them forever. She would seek him, defy the conventions that sought to bind her, and in doing so, perhaps discover that love, like Rome itself, could rise from the ashes of struggle, fierce and unyielding. In the heart of ancient Rome, where paths crossed and destinies intertwined, love would find a way, even if it meant stepping into the shadows to embrace the light. As the sun dipped below the horizon, casting a golden hue over the ancient streets of Rome, Aurelia stood at the edge of the bustling forum, her heart racing with the promise of Lupercalia. The air was thick with laughter and the fragrance of fresh flowers, mingling with the sounds of merriment that echoed through the city. In the midst of the festivities, her thoughts were consumed by Marcus, the soldier whose eyes ignited a fire within her soul. Moments stolen between the throngs of revelers became memories etched in her heart. A fleeting touch, a whispered word, a secret letter hidden beneath the floorboards of her modest home. Yet, the weight of her family's expectations loomed heavily upon her. Betrothed to a man of wealth and status, the chains of duty threatened to suffocate her burgeoning love. Livia, too, found herself ensnared in the web of societal constraints as she gazed at Marcus from across the crowded square. Their fateful glances spoke of unvoiced dreams and shared desires, a bond forged in the fires of adversity. Yet as the drums of the festival beat on, the reality of her impending marriage to a nobleman clawed at her spirit. When news reached Aurelia that Marcus had been wounded in battle, a tempest of emotions surged within her. The very fabric of her existence unraveled as she resolved to defy the boundaries that sought to keep them apart. Under the cloak of night, she penned a letter, pouring her heart onto the parchment, her words a lifeline to the man who held her heart captive. In the shadows of the ancient city, love blossomed amidst the ruins of tradition, a testament to its enduring power. As Aurelia and Livia dared to challenge the constraints of their world, they illuminated the path for love's triumph over despair. In the heart of Rome, where duty clashed with desire, their stories intertwined, reminding all that even in the face of darkness, love would always find a way to shine. Public baths and their role in social interaction. In the heart of Rome, amid the grandeur of marble temples and bustling marketplaces, the public baths served as a vital artery of social life. They were not merely places for cleansing the body. They were vibrant hubs of interaction, where the boundaries of class blurred, and the whispers of courtship mingled with the steam rising from the warm waters. It was here, in the fragrant embrace of lavender and rosemary, that lovers sought solace from the prying eyes of society. Lucius, a young soldier fresh from the campaigns beyond the Rubicon, stepped into the baths of Trajan with a heart heavy from battle yet alight with hope. His armor, now replaced by a simple tunic, hung loosely upon his shoulders, its weight forgotten in the warm cascade of steam. Here, he was not a triumphant warrior but a man yearning for the touch of warmth and intimacy he had lost in the clamor of war. It was not the glory of conquest he sought today, but the familiar laughter of Aurelia, daughter of a wealthy merchant, whose beauty had captivated him during the Lupercalia festival just weeks prior. As the steam enveloped him, he remembered their first meeting, a serendipitous encounter amidst the revelry of Lupercalia. The air had been thick with the scent of wine and the sound of laughter. As young men playfully chased maidens, their cheeks flushed with excitement. Lucius had stood apart, his heart aching for a connection in a world where duty often overshadowed desire. But then he saw her, Aurelia, her dark hair flowing like liquid night, her laughter as intoxicating as the sweetest vintage. It was as if the festival had paused, allowing their eyes to lock in a moment suspended in time. The days that followed had been a whirlwind of stolen glances and whispered promises. They exchanged letters, carefully penned in the stillness of night, each word a fragile thread binding their hearts. Yet, the specter of arranged marriage loomed over them like a storm cloud. Aurelia's father, intent on securing a powerful alliance, had already arranged her betrothal to a senator's son. Lucius knew that to pursue her love would mean defying the very fabric of Roman law and tradition. Today, as he entered the caldarium, the heated room where the water shimmered like molten silver, he spotted Aurelia seated on the edge of the marble fountain, her laughter ringing out like a sweet melody. She was surrounded by a gaggle of friends, yet it was as if she were alone, her gaze drifting toward the entrance, searching for a familiar face. Their eyes met, and in that instant, the world around them faded. The laughter, the chatter, even the steam that enveloped them vanished, leaving only the two of them suspended in their own universe. "Lucius," she breathed, a smile breaking across her face, illuminating the shadows of her worries. The moment was fragile and fleeting, yet it pulsed with the intensity of their unspoken love. He approached, heart racing as he navigated through the throng of bathers, each step heavy with the weight of secrecy. "Have you received my letters?" he asked, lowering his voice to a conspiratorial whisper as he settled beside her on the cool stone edge. His fingers brushed hers, a spark igniting at the contact. "I have," Aurelia replied, her eyes shimmering with unshed tears. "But my father grows impatient. He speaks of the wedding as if it were a mere transaction. I am but a pawn in his game." The sadness in her voice twisted his heart. He longed to take her away, to a place where they could forge their own destiny, unbound by the chains of societal expectation. "You deserve more than this, Aurelia. You deserve love, not obligation." Their conversation continued, punctuated by shared laughter and lingering touches, as the noise of the baths faded into the background. Yet, the reality of their circumstances loomed large. The heat of the caldarium could not shield them from the coldness of fate. Lucius knew that each moment spent in her company was a sweet agony, a reminder of what could never be. As the sun dipped low in the sky, casting a golden hue across the waters, Lucius took a deep breath, the air thick with the scent of oils and spices. "Meet me by the Tiber," he urged, urgency lacing his words. "Tonight, when the stars are bright, we shall speak of what lies ahead. I cannot bear to lose you, Aurelia." The promise hung between them, fragile yet filled with hope. As they parted, Lucius felt the weight of the world pressing down upon him, a soldier torn between love and duty. Yet, in the depths of his heart, he knew that love was a battle worth fighting, even against the might of Rome itself. As the sun dipped below the horizon, casting a golden hue over the bustling streets of Rome, Aurelia found herself at the heart of the Lupercalia festival, where the air was thick with the scent of blooming flowers and the sounds of laughter echoed through the vibrant crowd. Dressed in a flowing tunic adorned with delicate embroidery, she felt both exhilarated and apprehensive. The festival was a time of revelry, but for her, it marked the beginning of a forbidden love. In the midst of the festivities, her gaze fell upon Marcus, the noble soldier whose heart beat in rhythm with hers. Their eyes met across the throng, igniting a spark that transcended their social standings. Despite the stringent expectations that tethered her to a future with a wealthy patrician, Aurelia dared to dream of stolen moments beneath the moonlit skies, where love could flourish unencumbered. Yet, as the laughter faded into the night, the shadows of duty loomed large. Marcus, too, felt the weight of responsibility, torn between the call of the battlefield and the life he longed to build with Aurelia. Their correspondence blossomed through secret letters, each word a testament to their yearning, painted with the ink of hope and despair. But fate, cruel and relentless, dealt its hand when news of Marcus's injury reached Aurelia's ears. Fear gripped her heart, igniting a fierce resolve. In a world where love was often sacrificed on the altar of societal expectations, she would defy the constraints that sought to bind her. With every heartbeat, she pledged to seek him out, to challenge the very fabric of their realities. In the depths of winter, under the flickering candlelight of a secluded shrine, Aurelia whispered her vows to the gods, promising to fight for their love. As the festival of Lupercalia unfolded anew, she embarked on a journey of courage, determined to shatter the chains of her arranged destiny and embrace the passion that dared to bloom amidst the ruins of ancient Rome. In a society where love was often a fleeting illusion, Aurelia and Marcus would forge a legacy of devotion, one that would withstand the trials of time. A hub of connection and commerce. The marketplace. A hub of connection and commerce. In the vibrant heart of Rome, where the scent of freshly baked bread wafted through the bustling streets and the laughter of children mingled with the cries of merchants hawking their wares, the marketplace thrived as a crucible of human connection. Here, amidst the clamor and chaos, two souls were destined to meet, their fates entwined like the vines of the lush gardens that adorned the city. Titus, a young patrician, strode confidently through the forum, his tunic crisp and clean, a symbol of his family's wealth and status. Yet, wealth brought its own burdens. With his father's voice echoing in his mind, demanding that he marry the daughter of a powerful senator, Titus felt the weight of expectation heavy upon his shoulders. His heart, however, was not inclined toward such an arrangement. Instead, it raced at the thought of Livia, a daughter of a modest merchant family, whose beauty rivaled the marble statues that adorned the temples. Livia was a fixture of the marketplace, her laughter ringing like chimes in the gentle breeze as she deftly arranged colorful fruits at her father's stall. The way the sunlight danced upon her dark hair seemed to cast an enchanting glow around her, captivating all who passed. Titus found himself drawn to her not merely by her beauty, but by the warmth of her spirit. A light that pierced through the rigid confines of social class. Each day, he would visit the market under the pretense of purchasing goods, stealing glances when he thought no one would notice, exchanging shy smiles that spoke volumes more than words ever could. As the festival of Lupercalia approached, the air buzzed with anticipation. It was a time when the city celebrated fertility and love, an occasion marked by playful revelry and the sacred rites of the Luperci priests. It was said that during this festival, couples would be randomly paired for the duration of the festivities, an opportunity for lovers, both new and old, to explore the depths of their affection. The thought of Livia dancing amid the throngs of celebrants sent a thrill of excitement through Titus. Yet, it was tinged with an undercurrent of despair, for he knew the constraints of his birth would not allow him to pursue such a union. On the eve of the festival, he penned a letter to her, pouring his heart onto the papyrus. "Dearest Livia," he wrote, "the stars themselves conspired to draw us together, yet the tides of duty seek to pull us apart. Should the fates allow, I long to dance with you beneath the watchful gaze of the gods. I yearn for a world where our hearts can beat freely, unshackled by the chains of our birth." As the festival commenced, the streets transformed into a riot of color and sound. The air was thick with the scent of roasted meats and sweet pastries. Livia, adorned in a flowing white dress, her hair crowned with wildflowers, glided through the crowd, her heart fluttering with joy and trepidation. When she spotted Titus, her breath caught in her throat. He stood, a figure of noble grace, his eyes searching for her among the revelers. Their eyes met, and in that moment, the world around them faded into a blur. They danced together, lost in a rhythm that was both exhilarating and terrifying, a dance that spoke of their unspoken desires and the dangers that lay in their path. Livia felt the warmth of his hand upon her waist, a gentle affirmation of the bond that had grown between them, yet she also sensed the shadows that loomed over their love. "Livia," he whispered, drawing her closer as the music swelled. "Do you dream of a life where we could be together?" "I dream of it every night," she replied, her voice a soft melody that hung in the air between them. "But the world does not favor our union. My father would never allow it, and your family surely expects you to marry a woman of your own rank." As the night deepened, Titus felt the urgency of their situation. "Then let us steal this moment," he said, his gaze intense. "Let us etch our names in the stars, even if only for tonight." But the shadows of reality crept closer, as they both knew that the dawn would bring with it the harsh light of duty and expectation. Their love, as sweet and intoxicating as it was, faced insurmountable challenges. Yet, for that fleeting night, under the canopy of stars and the watchful eyes of the gods, they chose to embrace the beauty of their connection. If only for a moment, they were free. As the festival faded into memory, both Titus and Livia returned to their lives. One bound for an arranged marriage, the other destined to remain in the shadows of the marketplace. Yet, in their hearts, the flame of their love burned brightly, a testament to the power of connection found amidst the chaos of ancient Rome. In the heart of a bustling ancient Rome, where the scent of spices mingled with the dust of the forum, two souls found themselves entwined in a dance of fate during the jubilant festival of Lupercalia. Aurelia, the spirited daughter of a merchant, was drawn to the valor of Marcus, a noble soldier, whose laughter echoed like the joyous notes of a lyre amidst the revelry. Their eyes met beneath the flickering torchlight, igniting a spark that transcended the rigid confines of their social classes. Yet, as the festivities unfolded, the weight of expectation loomed heavily over Aurelia. Engaged to a wealthy suitor, she felt the shackles of duty bind her heart. In secret, she exchanged letters with Livia, a fellow reveler, their words weaving a tapestry of hope and despair. When news of Marcus's injury on the battlefield reached her, Aurelia's heart raced like the chariot races of the Circus Maximus. Fueled by love's fierce determination, she resolved to defy the constraints of her world. Under the cloak of night, she slipped away from her gilded cage, her heart pounding like the drums of the festival. In the shadows of the city, where whispers of love and rebellion lingered, Aurelia and Marcus finally embraced, their love a flame that refused to be extinguished. Together, they stood at the precipice of a new dawn, ready to face whatever trials fate would cast before them, knowing that true love, even in ancient Rome, could conquer all. Lupercalia and the celebration of love. In the heart of Rome, beneath the vibrant hues of the setting sun, the air was thick with anticipation. The festival of Lupercalia, a time of both revelry and renewal, had arrived. Streets were adorned with garlands of ivy and the laughter of the populace echoed through the forum as couples meandered through the throngs, each seeking a connection amidst the joyful chaos. The scent of incense mingled with the earthy aroma of the nearby Tiber, creating an intoxicating atmosphere that promised both hope and heartache. Among the throngs was Aurelia, a young woman of moderate means, her lineage tracing back to a respectable family of merchants. She wore a simple white tunic, the fabric light and flowing, a stark contrast to the elaborate garments of the upper class who paraded through the streets with their jeweled adornments. Yet, her beauty was undeniable, with raven black hair cascading down her back, and her green eyes radiating a warmth that drew the attention of many. But Aurelia's heart belonged to someone far beneath her social standing. A soldier named Marcus, a man whose valor in battle had captured her imagination and affection. Their paths had crossed under the auspices of fate, at a modest market where Aurelia often went to help her father. Marcus had come to trade, his armor gleaming in the sun, and amidst the chatter of haggling vendors, their eyes met. In that brief moment, an unspoken bond was forged. Each subsequent encounter brought forth stolen glances and whispered words, growing into an affection that transcended the boundaries of their worlds. But the specter of arranged marriages loomed over them. Aurelia promised to a wealthy patrician, a union that would elevate her family's status, while Marcus faced the grim realities of war. As Lupercalia unfolded, a sense of urgency gripped Aurelia. The festival was a time when love could blossom, a sacred rite where young men, clad only in goatskins, would run through the streets striking those they encountered, believed to bestow fertility and luck. It was a time for lovers, and she could not let this chance slip away. With her heart pounding like a war drum, she slipped out of her home and made her way towards the Palatine Hill, where the festivities were in full swing. There, amidst the laughter and the music, she found Marcus. He was standing by a fountain, his face illuminated by the flickering torches as he watched the revelry unfold. The sight of him sent a rush of warmth through her. She approached him, her heart racing, and they exchanged knowing smiles, each aware of the world that sought to keep them apart. "Aurelia," he whispered, taking her hand and pulling her aside into the shadows of a nearby alcove, where the sounds of the festival faded into a distant hum. "What are you doing here? If anyone sees us, I do not care, Marcus," she interrupted, her voice trembling with emotion. "The world can take its demands. My heart belongs to you, not to the man they would have me wed." He searched her eyes, his own filled with a mixture of longing and despair. "But you know it cannot be. I am but a soldier, a man of lowly rank. You deserve a life of comfort and prestige." "And what of love?" she implored, stepping closer, her breath mingling with the sweet scent of spring blossoms. "What good is a gilded cage? I do not wish to live without the warmth of your heart beside mine." As the revelers danced and laughed just beyond the alcove, Marcus's resolve began to crumble. "If only we could escape," he murmured, a pained smile gracing his lips. "But duty calls, and I must return to the front lines soon. Our time is fleeting." Aurelia pulled a small wax tablet from her satchel, inscribed with her thoughts and dreams, and pressed it into his hand. "Promise me, when the war is over, you will return to me. I will wait, no matter the cost." He nodded, his heart heavy with the weight of their unfulfilled longing. "I promise, my love. We will find a way." As they shared a fleeting kiss, the world beyond them blurred, and for that moment, nothing else existed. In the shadow of the ancient stones, they carved their own destiny amidst the chaos of Lupercalia, clinging to the belief that love could conquer all, if only they were brave enough to seize it. And as the festival raged on, their hearts intertwined like the ivy that adorned the city, even as the specter of duty loomed over them. Love remained their guiding star in the vast expanse of uncertainty. As the vibrant festivities of Lupercalia unfolded beneath the warm Roman sun, Aurelia stood amid the throng, her heart pounding with a fervor that defied the constraints of her station. Around her, the laughter of the young and the playful nudges of friends mingled with the intoxicating scent of blooming flowers and roasting meats. Yet, within the clamor, her gaze was drawn to Marcus, the valiant soldier whose very presence ignited a fire within her. But love, in the heart of Rome, bore a weight heavier than gold. Aurelia's father had arranged her marriage to a wealthy senator, a man whose ambition matched his coldness. Livia, too, felt the suffocating grip of duty. Her heart, like a captive bird, yearned for the same Marcus. In whispered corners of the bustling market, beneath the watchful eyes of the gods and society, both women penned letters filled with longing and despair, each word a fragile bridge to the one they adored. The news of Marcus's injury cut through the revelry like a dagger. In that moment, love's true test emerged, demanding sacrifice and courage. With trembling hands, Aurelia tore through the fabric of her fate, determined to defy the chains of expectation, while Livia resolved to shatter her gilded cage. Together, they would face the tempest of their reality, for in the heart of ancient Rome, love, though forbidden, blossomed fiercely, a testament to the indomitable spirit of those who dared to dream amidst the shadows of tradition. Arranged marriages and social barriers. In the heart of Rome, where the marble columns rose like sentinels against the twilight, the air buzzed with the sounds of laughter and music that heralded the onset of Lupercalia. Within the chaos of the festival, among the throngs of people that filled the streets, a young woman named Aurelia found herself swept up in a tide of celebration. Her dark hair, adorned with delicate laurel leaves, framed her face as she navigated through the crowds, her heart heavy with the weight of an impending arrangement that threatened to sever her from the one she loved. Aurelia's family, of the equestrian order, had deemed it necessary to secure her future through an advantageous marriage to a wealthy patrician. Yet, her heart belonged to Marcus, a soldier of humble origins, whose laughter had once danced through the air like the notes of a lyre. They had met in the public baths, a place where the boundaries of class momentarily blurred, laughter echoing as they exchanged fleeting glances amidst the steam and water. Their love had blossomed in secret, hidden from the watchful eyes of society, as they shared whispered dreams beneath the stars. As the festival unfolded, Aurelia felt the sharp pang of grief clashing with the joy around her. The streets were lined with stalls that offered fragrant garlands, sweet honey cakes, and the rich wines of Falernian. Couples danced beneath the flickering torches, their laughter mingling with the sounds of flutes and drums. Yet Aurelia's heart remained tethered to the shadows. She longed to be with Marcus, to feel his warm embrace and hear his gentle words. But the weight of her family's expectations loomed over her like a dark cloud. Amidst the riotous celebration, Aurelia made her way to the temple of Lupercus, the god of fertility and shepherds. Here, the air was thick with incense, and the scent of rosemary and myrtle mingled with the sweet notes of love that hung in the air. As the priests prepared for the ceremonial rites, she closed her eyes, wishing for a moment of clarity. The festival was not merely a celebration of love, but a reminder of the challenges that love must endure. Arranged marriages dictated the fates of many, their hearts shackled by the chains of social class and family honor. In the distance, she spotted Marcus, his dark tunic a stark contrast against the white robes of the patricians that surrounded him. He stood at the edge of the crowd, a silent guardian of her heart, his gaze searching for hers among the revelers. When their eyes finally locked, an electric charge coursed through her veins, igniting a flicker of hope. With determination, Aurelia slipped away from the festivities, her heart pounding as she wove through the crowd toward the one man who understood her soul. "Marcus," she breathed, her voice barely above a whisper as she reached him. The world around them faded. The laughter, the music, the vibrant colors of the festival all blurred into insignificance. "I cannot bear the thought of being married to another." He took her hands, his eyes a storm of emotions. "Aurelia, we must be cautious, your family." "I care not for their wishes," she interrupted, her voice trembling with passion. "I would rather face the wrath of my father than live a life without you." Marcus's brow furrowed, the weight of responsibility pressing heavily upon him. "You know we cannot be together, not in a world that binds us by class and duty. I am but a soldier." "Then let us defy the world. Let us steal away to the countryside, where the gods themselves cannot judge us," Aurelia pleaded, her heart racing with the thrill of rebellion. "We could find freedom in the fields, beneath the open sky." He hesitated, the flicker of doubt casting a shadow across his handsome features. "And what of your family?" "They will search for you, and if they find us." "Then let them find us," she exclaimed, tears welling in her eyes. "I will not let fear dictate my fate. I would choose love over the bonds of arranged duty any day." As the sounds of the festival echoed in the distance, their hands intertwined, a silent promise exchanged between them. But even in that moment of longing, the specter of their reality loomed large. The barriers of social class, the weight of familial expectation, and the unyielding structure of Roman society conspired against them. And yet, beneath the stars and the watchful eyes of the gods, they dared to dream of a world where love could flourish unencumbered, a world that, for now, existed only in the whispers of their hearts. In the midst of Lupercalia, where love was celebrated but rarely claimed, Aurelia and Marcus stood at the precipice of their own fate, ready to challenge the very fabric of a society that sought to keep them apart. As the sun dipped beneath the horizon, casting a golden hue over the bustling streets of Rome, Aurelia stood by her window, heart pounding like the drums of Lupercalia that echoed through the air. The festival, a celebration of fertility and love, had ignited a spark between her and Marcus, a noble soldier whose laughter danced like the flickering flames of the torches illuminating the night. Yet, the weight of familial obligations loomed over them like a dark cloud, threatening to extinguish the flame they had kindled in secrecy. In the days that followed, Aurelia and Livia exchanged furtive glances at the public baths, where the warm steam enveloped them in a veil of anonymity. Each stolen moment was filled with whispered hopes and the promise of a future unbound by societal chains. With parchment and ink, they poured their souls into letters, each stroke of the quill a testament to their unwavering devotion, despite the oppressive constraints of arranged marriages looming on the horizon. Then came the news. Marcus had fallen in battle, a wound that pierced not only his flesh but the very core of their hearts. In that moment of despair, Aurelia and Livia's resolve solidified. They would not let love fade into the annals of time. With courage drawn from the depths of their souls, they devised a plan to rescue him from the clutches of fate, determined to defy the expectations that sought to bind them. In the shadows of the night, under the watchful gaze of the gods, love emerged as a fierce force, transcending the boundaries of class and convention. It was in this crucible of struggle and passion that Aurelia and Livia discovered the true essence of love. A powerful bond that could withstand the trials of the Roman world, igniting a fire in their hearts that no arrangement could ever extinguish, the enduring nature of love in a complex world. In the heart of Rome, where time flowed like the Tiber, love was a force both whimsical and formidable. Couples found each other amidst the bustling public baths, lively markets, and vibrant festivals, where the air was thick with the scent of roasted chestnuts and the laughter of children echoed like music. It was here, in the mosaic of daily life, that the fragile threads of affection wove themselves into the very fabric of society, transcending the rigid boundaries of class and expectation. In the midst of the Lupercalia festivities, a grand celebration honoring fertility and the coming of spring, the streets danced with the pulse of revelry. Young men, clad in skins of sacrificed goats, raced through the avenues, playfully striking women with strips of hide to ensure their fertility. It was a chaotic affair, yet within the laughter and the joyous cries, whispered longings blossomed. For many a maiden, the festival was not merely a backdrop for merriment but a stage where hope ignited like the torches that lit the night. Among the revelers was Aurelia, a patrician's daughter, whose beauty shone as brightly as the moonlit marble of the temples. Despite the wealth and privilege that enveloped her, her heart yearned for something more than the gilded cage of an arranged marriage. She had been promised to a senator's son, a man whose ambition matched his stature but whose heart remained a mystery. On the eve of Lupercalia, as she slipped away from the confines of her father's villa, she felt the pulse of freedom thrumming in her veins. At the bustling forum, where merchants hawked their wares and philosophers debated the nature of love, Aurelia's gaze fell upon Marcus, a soldier of humble birth, whose presence was as commanding as the armor he wore. Their eyes met, and in that fleeting moment, the world around them faded. The din of the market was drowned out by the thumping of their hearts, a symphony composed of unspoken desires and promises. What began as a chance encounter quickly turned into whispered conversations beneath the shade of the ancient olive trees, where the scent of ripe fruit mingled with the sweetness of stolen kisses. Yet, love in Rome was a perilous endeavor. The weight of social expectations loomed over them like the mighty Colosseum, casting shadows over their budding romance. Aurelia's father had grand designs for her future, and Marcus, though brave and noble, was but a soldier, an unworthy match in the eyes of her family. Each meeting was fraught with danger, the specter of discovery ever present. They exchanged letters, words inked on papyrus that carried their hopes and dreams across the miles. In these missives, Marcus poured forth his soul, his longing for her, each letter a lifeline that tethered them together across the vast gulf of their worlds. "Dearest Aurelia," he wrote one starry night from the distant battlefield, "the clamor of war is a distant echo compared to the silence of your absence. I fight not for glory or fame, but for the dream of one day standing beside you, free of the chains that bind us." His words were a salve to her heart, a reminder that love, in its purest form, transcended the barriers of rank and fortune. As the days turned into weeks, the festival of Lupercalia echoed in the background, a bittersweet reminder of their reality. Aurelia found herself torn between duty and desire, her heart a battleground of conflicting loyalties. The world outside her window buzzed with life, yet within, she felt as if she were suffocating in the chains of expectation. The night before her betrothal ceremony, she stood by her window, gazing at the stars that twinkled like the eyes of the gods, wondering if they could hear her silent plea for freedom. Suddenly, a rustle broke the stillness. Marcus appeared below her window, his silhouette framed against the moonlight. "Aurelia," he whispered, his voice a soft caress in the night. "Come with me. We can escape this life, this fate that binds you. Together, we can forge our own path." With her heart racing, Aurelia weighed the risks. Love demanded sacrifice, but could she forsake her family, her name, for a chance at a life filled with passion and authenticity? In that moment, she understood that love was not merely an emotion but a choice, a decision to stand against the tides of fate. As dawn broke over Rome, painting the sky in hues of gold and crimson, Aurelia made her choice. She slipped from her father's house, her heart alight with hope and determination. The world may be complex, but love, she realized, was a force that could conquer even the most formidable barriers. Together, they would face the unknown, armed with the unyielding belief that love, in all its forms, would endure. In a city bound by tradition, their love would rise like the sun, illuminating the darkness with a promise that echoed through the ages. That the heart, once ignited, could never be extinguished. As the sun dipped below the horizon, casting a golden hue over the bustling streets of Rome, Aurelia stood at the edge of the Forum, the air thick with the scent of ripe olives and the sound of laughter echoing from the Lupercalia festivities. The vibrant banners fluttered overhead, a stark contrast to the turmoil within her heart. She clutched a letter, its parchment soft from countless readings, penned by Marcus with hands that had wielded a sword in defense of the Republic. Each word ignited a fire within her, a longing that defied the rigid chains of her humble birth and her family's expectations. Livia, her dearest companion, caught her gaze, her own heart bound to Lucius, a soldier of noble lineage. They exchanged a knowing glance, a silent acknowledgement of their shared plight, two souls ensnared by the ambitions of others, yet yearning for a love that felt as ancient as the stones beneath their feet. As the festival reached its crescendo, the joyous cries of citizens melded with the distant roar of the Tiber. Aurelia's heart raced at the thought of defying tradition, of casting aside the weight of an arranged marriage to embrace the wild, uncharted territory of love. In that fleeting moment, beneath the watchful gaze of gods and ancestors, she resolved to seek Marcus, to traverse the divide that society had placed between them, driven by a love that burned brighter than any social class. Livia, too, felt the pull of her heart, the urgency of their passions. They would not be mere pawns in the games of the powerful. They would carve their destinies, guided by the fierce light of love that illuminated even the darkest corners of Roman life. As the night unfolded, the stars bore witness to their courage, whispering promises of hope and unyielding devotion. And so, amidst the laughter and the music, two hearts ignited by desire prepared to defy the very fabric of their world, ready to embrace a fate written in the stars.